The story of George Lukins is one of England's most chilling cases of alleged possession, a terrifying tale that blurred the line between mental illness and true supernatural horror. His suffering began in the small village of Yatton, Somerset, in the mid-18th century, when he was just a young man. By all accounts, he had lived an ordinary life as a tailor and performer in local Christmas plays, but something changed suddenly and dramatically. Lukins began experiencing violent fits, sometimes falling to the ground, convulsing as if an unseen force had seized control of him. His personality altered in ways that unsettled even those closest to him. At times, his voice would change into something unearthly deep, guttural and full of rage. He would speak in languages no one had ever heard him use before. Neighbors claimed he could chant and sing in Latin, despite being a simple working-class man with no formal education in such things. As the years passed, Lukins' condition worsened. He would scream out in pain, claiming that unseen entities tormented him day and night. His hands and body would contort grotesquely, and those who witnessed these episodes swore he exhibited unnatural strength. He spoke of being possessed by 7 demons, an idea that terrified those around him. Doctors and physicians examined him but found no medical explanation for his affliction. Some labeled him as suffering from epilepsy, while others suspected he was insane. But no treatment, no medicine, no therapy could bring him relief. After nearly 2 decades of torment, Lukins was sent to St. George's Hospital in London, where he spent months under observation. The medical professionals there, despite all their expertise, could not cure him. The case was eventually deemed beyond their understanding, and Lukins was released, still plagued by the terrifying presence that clung to him. He returned to Yatton, but his condition only grew more horrifying. It was in 1778 that his case caught the attention of Reverend Joseph Easterbrook in Bristol. Reports of Lukins' possession had reached the clergyman, and at first, he was deeply skeptical. But as he listened to the accounts from those who had witnessed Lukins' torment firsthand, he could not ignore the possibility that something supernatural was at play. He met with Lukins, and, after observing his behavior, became convinced that the man was indeed possessed. Determined to free him, Easterbrook called upon 6 other clergymen to perform an exorcism. They chose Temple Church in Bristol as the site, a sacred place where they hoped the power of their faith would be strong enough to drive out whatever evil had taken root in Lukins. On the day of the exorcism, the 7 priests gathered around Lukins, their voices united in prayer. The moment they began, Lukins erupted into an uncontrollable fit. He shrieked and convulsed, his body twisting in unnatural ways. He mocked the priests in a deep, inhuman voice, laughing and cursing at them. His strength was overwhelming, as if something inside him was fighting against their prayers with all its might. But the clergymen did not waver. They called upon the power of Christ, commanding the demons to leave Lukins' body. The air grew heavy, thick with tension as the battle raged between the holy and the damned. Lukins howled, his voice shifting from one tone to another as if different entities were speaking through him. He spat at the priests, thrashed violently, and sang eerie, mocking hymns in an otherworldly manner. For over an hour, the struggle continued. The priests persisted, unwavering in their faith. Then, as the prayers intensified, something changed. Lukins let out an ear-piercing scream so loud and agonized that some of the witnesses claimed it was not human. His body went rigid, his face contorted in absolute terror. And then, in an instant, it was over. He collapsed, utterly exhausted, his breath shallow and weak. The priests waited, watching him closely, unsure if the demons would return. But when Lukins finally opened his eyes, something was different. His face, once twisted in pain and malice, now appeared peaceful. In a faint, trembling voice, he whispered, "Blessed Jesus." The exorcism had succeeded. The darkness that had tormented Lukins for so many years had been cast out. The 7 demons, if they had truly existed, were gone. The case of George Lukins became one of the most famous exorcisms in English history. While some dismissed it as hysteria or mental illness, others saw it as undeniable proof of demonic possession. Even centuries later, The story remains a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that might lurk beyond human understanding. Those who had been there, those who had heard his voice shift into something monstrous, those who had seen the torment in his eyes, never doubted for a moment that something truly evil had once dwelled within George Lukins.
Enjoyed the content? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more awesome videos your way. Don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest uploads. Thanks for watching.